keeping an eye on the correct values and measurement systems on things. And to me, at least, it seems like there could be still traces of this knowledge, I guess, left in certain groups within our society. But we are handed down a kind of a different historical background that does not support this kinds of system that you propose here. I mean, do you have any take on that?
What it is, it seems to have, to a large degree, I hope I don't offend anybody, grown out of Roman Catholicism. It's like there were the pagan peoples who, occupied all of Europe, and they had groups like the Druids who, embraced this mathematical approach to everything.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the church, especially, the Roman Christian church, not so much the earlier Coldy Christians who seemed to be very much like Druids in the way that they functioned, but the much latter Roman state church religion seemed to march, right over the tops of everybody and very forcibly impose their will.
Yeah.
And a lot of the knowledge was lost during that period of time. And then the church, having grown out of Rome, seemed to want to accentuate the connection to, Greek and, Latin type origins for the concept of civilization. So they painted a picture that everybody was in a state of barbarism, or, they sort of talk about England, if you like, that the people were dressed in skins and very, very primitive, when the Romans got there. But we learn from the historical annals that the people were very, very advanced.
Yeah.
Things that are attributed to the Romans, roads and things like that. Well, a lot of these things, in Britain especially, the roading system, was built by King Molomutius and his son Belenius in 600 BC, this sort of thing. When Julius Caesar turned up to do battle at the Loire estuary, 220 beautiful big swan ships turned up to do battle with him from the region. The people have been misrepresented, and it's mainly because of the church wanting to show that they are the bearers and carriers of civilization. And out of that whole thing with the Catholic Church has grown the school of thought called isolationism. And what we're seeing today really is just sort of a leftover of that Christian, if you like, Roman Christian domination of all of our history.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that is correct, because, I mean, it feels like we are, I mean, there's so much interesting history that is being suppressed. I mean, either it is to fit so that the history fits the model, so to speak, that they have set up for us, or, I mean, either that, or it could be that there's so much more to this story that would really, open up Pandora's box, so to speak, because a global civilization, or a civilization with communication going on globally really upsets, the current model, as you say.
Well, I mean, we do have the proof. The proof is in the landscape. I've got a standing invitation to the New Zealand archaeologist. Come with me for one day. Get out of your ivory tower. Get out of that comfortable chair that you're in. Come with me into the landscape for one day, and I will absolutely prove everything that I'm talking about. But they will never come. They will never do it. They're too PC. They are too controlled. If you delve into these things as a professional, then it's career suicide under the present regime. Archaeologists and historians, if they're to survive, have got to, sort of support the status quo. They're not allowed to delve into these things.
Yeah, and that's where we're at, basically. I mean, and it's the same. I haven't read so much about it actually, but I read enough to know that there is tremendous suppression going on here in Sweden too, about parts of, especially connecting to the west side of Sweden, called Västergötland, or the West Goths, or this of course connects with the word Visigoths and so forth.
Yes.
And this, I guess, do you know if there's a connection here with the civilization between these two parts, to the Vikings or so?
Well, I'm not too sure. I haven't really done a deep study of your region. I've delved into the weights and measures, but if I could see some of the structures, artifacts that were in that region, then I would probably be able to see the connections quite quickly. Things like here in New Zealand we have bullhorns. These are cut bowls that are in solid rock, and they're very, very strange. Somebody has gone to huge labor to cut these stone bowls, and we find that they are a very ancient cultural expression that is found in Ireland, or England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, right there in continental Europe, associated with the Holy Wells traditions. A gentleman has just written to me from Azerbaijan, further over to the east. They're finding the bullhorns all over in that region as well, and it's like something that you can trace. It's a cultural idiosyncrasy that just moves with the people across the world.
Yeah, fascinating. And we got just about 2 minutes left in this first part here, but I want to make sure that we mention your book more, and I mean, is your book available through your website?
Yes, it is available through the website. What it is, it's a book that I wrote in 1999, and of course, the world moves on, and I think it's the great regret of every author that you can't just keep stoking new life into an older book. So what I do is the book is available, but I've learned a huge amount since I actually wrote that particular book. I really should write another one. But the website, www.celticnz.co.nz, that has all of the updated information. And everything that we're finding, every time I find something, it just goes straight onto the internet with pictures and everything to bring it up to date. If somebody wishes to see the book, it's available through the website.
Great. And do you do talks and so forth at this point?
Yes, I do. I go throughout the country from time to time and speak to various groups and do everything I can to bring this history back to life, to put new life into it. Yeah,
of course. I mean, is it good? Do you get good response, or is there much? Let me say this: is there an increase in interest in these subjects?
Yes. By the year 1998, the politically correct regime had almost succeeded in enveloping us in total amnesia. But if you talk to most New Zealanders today, they will go back to the older school of thought that, of course, there were people here before the Maori, and they're very much better informed. They can come into my website or those of colleagues of mine and get all of the historical quotes and all of the photographs and evidence of this much, much earlier group of people who were here for thousands of years before the coming of the Maori people.
Yeah, and I think that's an excellent place to take a little break. Martin and I will continue with this interview, and this will be available in about 1 or 2 weeks from now, when we're going to open up the subscribers section on redicecreations.com. Next Sunday we have Jerry E. Smith back on the show, and we will be talking about the secrets of the Holy Lands, the Spear of Destiny, so stay tuned for that show. Big thanks to all you guys out there for listening to the program, and thanks to my producer Fredrik Palmgren for being behind the controls on these shows. This is Henrik Palmgren signing off. We'll talk more on Sunday. Until then, take care.
And where are we going?
Welcome. This is Red Eyes Radio.
really don't understand, do you? Hey, man, don't you realize in order for us to make this thing work, man, we've got to get rid of the pimps and the pushers and the prostitutes and then start all over again clean.
Hey, look, nobody's pushing me anyway, okay? I mean, not you, not the cops, nobody, man. I mean, you want to get rid of the pushers, I'll help you. But don't say